Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and today's video is about color mapping. And color mapping is a process to tell your laser uh, different speeds and parameters and powers for different colors in your print process. So this video doesn't have too much to do about Corel, even though it kind of does. It's more about your laser. And if you can see, I drew this, and I drew blue lines in the center, which are vector lines, and they're also hair lines. And then I drew a red line on the outside. And my red one I set to cut, and the blue ones I set at 100 speed, 100 power, and it just zipped through there, trying to cut the wood, but it won't cut it because it's way too thick a wood for how fast I was going. So I don't really use color mapping too much. I wouldn't take the time to, if I was just going to draw this, I wouldn't take the time to draw it out and color map it. I would select that, go up to print, selection, and then I would run those lines at 100 speed, 100 power. And then I would basically delete those lines and then run this at 100 power and 10 speed. But if you had sheets of this, if you had these all over your page, it might be easier to set up a color mapping, and maybe some people that know much more about color mapping can tell me how to even utilize it easier, maybe, or better, maybe even for laser or for engraving, for rastering. But my colors are RGB, and then there's CY or CMYK colors. So you need to make sure, if you're going to use color mapping in the way I'm going to do it, that your colors are, basically this stands for red, green, and blue. So my blue color is, and if you'll remember this number, 255, and my red color is R255, where the blue was under the B. That's really important when you go to your color mapping. So we're going to go preferences, and we're going to go color mapping. Then you need to check this box right here. Then you can see that I've got RGB. So there's my red. Well, I need to set it at, because I want to cut, I want 100 power at 10 speed. And then you need to click this right here. And then that sets this over here. Now let's pick on the blue. But the blue, which is see the blue under 255? I want 100 speed at 100 power. So now when you go to run that job and hit OK, it's going to cut out at 100 power at 10 speed, and then it's going to go 100 power at 100 speed, and it's just going to zip through here instead of engraving that. So if you had pages and pages of these to cut out and do this, then color mapping, I can see the benefit. And evidently there's more benefits than I'm realizing, and we might get into that later. Anyway, so just remember to check your colors. Because if you pick I'll show you how to look at your colors. Go to Windows, Color Palettes, and I only have my RGB select. If I use CMYK, or CMYK, and I draw a box, well, I can't even draw a box today, and I turn it to this color, or this outline color, and no fill, it's not going to cut, because it doesn't recognize that color. If you can see, the color is C is 100, M is 100, and Y and K are 0. Let's go down to the red. Totally different. Where their red is in the CMYK is 100 M and 100 Y. So you need to make sure use the same color on the color mapping that you've drawn the item with. And then I'm going to turn those off. So I'm going to go to Windows, Color Palettes, and I'm going to turn off the CMYK. All right. I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.